If the build-to-order flat is your first pot of gold in the Singapore property journey, well, the executive condominium, or EC, is the furnace that refines that foundation into real, multi-generational wealth. Welcome to this explainer. We're diving straight into exactly how this highly unique property type acts as a massive wealth accelerator for those who know how to play the game. So, what is Singapore's most misunderstood property type? Think about a home that gives you the exact same gorgeous swimming pools, the high-end gyms, and the 24-hour security as luxury housing, literally indistinguishable from a private condo. But behind the scenes, it plays by a completely different set of rules. This is the executive condominium. The secret? It's all about the discount. Executive condominiums are priced 15 to 25% cheaper than equivalent purely private condos right in the exact same area. I mean, you are getting massive built-in value right from day one. But of course, an advantage like that comes with strings attached. Section 2, Decoding the Hybrid EC, the rules of the game. The catch is that an EC basically has a split personality. It's a hybrid. On one hand, you're getting the full private condo lifestyle, developed by private developers with all the luxurious bells and whistles. But on the flip side, you have HDB rules. Because these units are initially subsidized, the government puts them under strict public housing restrictions in their early years. It's an exclusive, ring-fenced opportunity. To actually grab this golden ticket, you've got to pass the strict 2026 eligibility gates. First up, the income ceiling. Your maximum household income absolutely cannot exceed $16,000 a month when you apply. Second is citizenship. You need at least one Singapore citizen applicant, though your spouse can be a permanent resident. And finally, ownership. No private property allowed, and if you own an HDB flat, you must be prepared to sell it. Now pay close attention here, because this is the 2026 MOP trapdoor. For decades, the minimum occupation period, the time you have to physically live there before renting the whole place out or selling, was 5 years. But for new EC projects launched from May 8, 2026 onwards, that MOP has dramatically increased to 10 years. It is absolutely crucial you check the project's launch date so you can navigate this timeline properly. Section 3, the privatization profit jump, the engine of the wealth machine. Let's look at the life cycle of an EC. You start at the lowest bar, that's your launch discount, buying well below market value. Then, during those MOP years, you hit the middle bar. The property appreciates alongside the broader private market. But the real magic, that happens at the highest bar. That is the massive price jump at privatization, where your initial discount finally meets the open market value. When an EC privatizes, two massive things happen simultaneously. First off, the property can now be sold to foreigners. Suddenly, your buyer pool just explodes as all those initial HDB restrictions vanish. Second, the EC fully benchmarks against surrounding private condos. The open market now views your property purely as a standard private condo, commanding those same top-tier prices. When those restrictions fall away, the results are explosive. Historical data shows that EC prices typically jump by 20 to 40% around this crucial privatization milestone. That is a staggering leap in equity that you simply do not see in standard private condos over a single event. Let's ground this theory with some numbers. Say you buy a $1.2 million EC. Thanks to that initial launch discount, you are securing $180,000 to $300,000 of built-in value right from day one. By the time it fully privatizes and hits the open market 10 to 15 years later, that discount translates into a massive equity war chest. It is very often the single largest wealth jump in a family's property journey. Section 4, Step-by-Step Buying Guide, the Execution Playbook. All right, here is exactly how you execute this play. Step 1. Preparation. You need to relentlessly monitor property portals and the HDB website for upcoming launches. Step 2. Get your HFE letter sorted early to prove you meet that $16,000 income criteria. Step 3. Hit the show flats and shortlist your preferred units by stack, level, and facing. And Step 4. Register your interest with a developer early so you actually get priority in the queue. Next up is purchase and wait. On balloting day, if you secure a unit, you sign the option to purchase and pay a 5% booking fee. Now, crucially, that 5% must be purely in cash. No CPF allowed there. Within 8 weeks, you'll sign the sales and purchase agreement and pay the next 15%, which can come from CPF or cash. Then you basically wait 3 to 4 years for construction to finish. And here is a major update you need to know for 2026. The deferred payment scheme? It has been completely removed for new launches. That means you are strictly on a progressive payment scheme. You're going to be making mandatory installments as construction milestones are hit over those 3 to 4 years, eventually completing a 25% down payment. You've got to plan your cash flow very carefully. Section 5. Top locations for maximum returns. Mapping the hotspots. So, where should you be looking? Historically, certain clusters are total powerhouses. Senggang and Punggol are phenomenal because of MRT connectivity and fierce upgrader demand from young families. Woodlands is booming with the regional center expansion. Tenga is the massive new ecotown seeing heavy infrastructure spending. Tampines and Pasir Ris have mature amenities and great schools. And Jurong East, huge long-term upside from the Lake District development. But let me give you a quick, stark warning. Avoid ECs that are miles away from an MRT station or stuck in areas with zero amenities. Location still rules everything. If you buy a cheap EC out in the middle of nowhere, it's going to take way longer to appreciate, and your privatization jump will be at a significantly lower premium. Don't hamstring your final payout. Which brings us to the final question to leave you with today. Are you ready to take the leap into the truly open market? The executive condominium is an absolute powerhouse of a stepping stone, perfectly using government subsidies to launch you into the private sphere. But it's just one step on the ladder. Once you ride that privatization wave, all the HDB rules vanish and the entire private condominium endgame opens up to you. Thank you for joining me on this explainer. Start planning your progression, and I'll catch you next time.